According to the clock. All right, everybody heard that, right? The party is starting. Okay. So you can see the first slide is True Self Total Health, Life Imbalance, and Black Veg Society. You're here for Food as Medicine, Decrease Exhaustion, and Increase Energy, naturally sponsored by Black Veg Society and presented by me as a representative of True Self Total Health. Now, I want to thank you, first of all, for those of you who've been following us. Kudos to you for continuing to come and taking time to invest in you and your health and wellness. So as always, my commitment to you is to provide you with a content-rich presentation in a format that's easy to understand and interactive. I also know how frustrating it can be to get really great information, but not know how to implement it. That's why there's going to be tools and resources and a Q&A and a food demo to guide you and to give you a jump start, or maybe you may need a restart. So here's a few housekeeping issues. I'm saying this for myself too. We're going to answer the questions at the end of the presentation to keep a good flow. So you can put your questions in the chat, or you can use the raised hand icon at the end. But please do not expect us to respond to your questions until after the presentation. Everyone's asked to remain muted to eliminate distractions during the presentation. Please, please, please. If you forget and there's some noise, Karen or myself, most likely Karen will do that for you. We're going to invite you to complete a very short survey at the end of the webinar. Everyone who completes the survey will receive a free 12-month vegetarian journal subscription. If you stay to the end, got to stay to the end, you'll receive a link for immediate access to 5 recipes to kick your sugar addiction habit, which includes a breakfast, a lunch, a dinner, dessert, and a snack recipe. Also, immediately following the presentation, Chef Karen Osborne, if you all have been coming to this webinar every month for the last 2 months, you already know her. She'll be doing a food demo and sharing her favorite recipes to support and increasing your energy. And also, she's just a wealth of information. So we're really blessed to have her. Finally, everyone who registered, that's you and all your friends, however many did that, you'll be eligible to participate in a raffle to win and receive immediate download to a healthy vegetarian recipe starter guide with breakfast, lunch, dinner, and juice recipes. Right? Lots of valuable information to show our appreciation for you for investing time to learn and hopefully implement some life-changing information.
Can I just say one thing?
Of course.
Somebody just pointed out the website has a typo, trueselftotalhealth.com.
It does. Well, thank you for that. True Self. Yep, I see it. I'm going to make a note of that. Do you know how long I have copied and pasted this and no one's ever brought that out to me? So thank you so much for that. All right, food is medicine. That is the theme for today. The beauty of food as medicine is that the choice to heal and promote health can begin as soon as your next meal, so it's never too late. So food is either nourishing the body or breaking it down. There's no neutral effect. What you eat either improves your health or depletes it. Real, whole, minimally processed food, not food-like substances, provides nutrients to support your mental and physical and even spiritual health. Nutrient insufficiencies and deficiencies are the root cause of disease, discomfort, dissatisfaction with how you look and feel, and can impact the functioning of every system and cell in your body. So, of course, nutrition, along with lifestyle practices, will give you what conventional medicine can't or won't, a way to get well, not just feel better. And I hope that you want to get well. A little bit about me. My name is Toni St. Clair Fish. I'm a functional medicine certified health coach and also a nationally board certified health coach. And I'm also a founding member of the Black Veg Society. You can read all the certifications that I have garnered. All that says is that I am qualified to do this presentation to support you in making lifestyle changes and nutrition changes. So I hope that if you need any additional help beyond this presentation, you can always reach out to me. I also want to let you know that I'm a functional medicine health coach at the Capital Integrative Health, I want to say office or clinic in Bethesda, Maryland. It's an integrative health practice that combines the best of conventional and complementary medicine. So whatever I can help you with, if it's outside of my scope, you can always go there for help. All right, enough about me. Okay, this is one of the most important parts of this presentation is the disclaimer. If you don't feel like reading it, I'm going to let you know we should be paying attention to. This presentation is meant to be educational only. It's a sharing of information based on my experience and training or the experience of experts I rely on, like my mentor, Rita Marie Lascalzo, like Karen Osborne, and other experts I rely on. Number two, it's not intended as medical advice. I'm not treating, curing, diagnosing any conditional illness. So if you have a condition that requires medical attention, please seek it. And finally, if you're inspired to implement a change, and I really hope you are, no matter how small, please share what you're doing with a licensed and qualified healthcare practitioner, especially if you're taking medication or you have a chronic condition. Just want to keep you all safe. Here's what you'll learn. You can learn the signs and symptoms of blood sugar imbalance, lifestyle medicine tips, tricks, and hacks to optimize your energy, nutrients that help balance your blood sugar, our top plant-based foods and herbs to beat fatigue and restore energy, and how to prepare simple and energizing plant-based food. All right, so let's talk a little bit about why I chose blood sugar imbalance to support you increasing energy. Because I found that nutrient deficiencies and insufficiencies, as well as lifestyle factors, can increase your blood sugar imbalances, which in turn can cause you to experience varying levels of fatigue from low energy to chronic exhaustion. Now, we're going to be limiting our discussion to low energy. If you go to the Black Veg Society Library, there are videos where you'll find, I think it's Restore Your Energy Naturally. There's information about how to assess and address chronic fatigue. This is really about low energy, not chronic fatigue, the energy highs and lows that you may be experiencing. It's not quite chronic yet. Let's see what else we have. So let's talk about the normal blood sugar cycle, because I think you have to understand how food actually impacts your blood sugar normally, and then we'll talk about how it, when it's not working quite right. So we eat every day, of course, because if we don't eat, we're not going to nourish our bodies and get the energy we want. So we eat every day to maintain our blood sugar. So generally, we get hungry, we eat. It all starts with eating. Then your blood glucose rises. And when you eat, the food gets digested, absorbed, and your blood sugar rises. Even if you've eaten something that does not contain overt sugar, everything has to break down the sugar to be used. So then your pancreas secretes insulin. So the pancreas detects sugar and secretes a hormone called insulin. And then insulin escorts glucose into the cells because glucose cannot get into the cells without a carrier. And then your cells can then convert the sugar into energy. And finally, after a while, your blood glucose, it decreases. You feel good because you've just eaten a meal that has provided you with energy and your hunger goes away. And there's a whole lot more chemistry that goes into that, but this is beyond the scope of this particular discussion. And then you get hunger again. Now, hunger should be 3, 4, 5, or 6 hours later, sometimes longer, depending on how much you ate. You get hungry and then you eat again. That's the normal cycle. But that's not the cycle that I see when I'm talking to my clients that are having problems with brain fog and exhaustion or some level of fatigue. Here's the cycle that I mostly see, the blood sugar imbalance cycle. So this cycle is similar to a point to the normal cycle. You eat, your blood sugar rises, your pancreas secretes insulin to escort it to the cells. And then the cells get resistant. Why? Because you've eaten in a way to cause the body to need a lot of insulin from eating things with sugars and starches and fruit juices, and even healthier high sugar whole food. You secrete a lot of insulin over time. And after a while, the cells become resistant to it. So glucose remains high. So those cells get damaged because of just too much insulin being released. So then your body, in response, the pancreas says, oh, I'm going to secrete more insulin. And the pancreas recognizes there's still sugar in the blood and secretes even more. And it's still not getting into the cells, but it's damaging the cells. And then finally, you have excess sugar and excess insulin, a recipe for disaster. So the insulin triggers a response that causes the liver to secrete hormones that says the excess sugar has to be converted to fat because it's not getting into the cells, right? And then the excess insulin damages your blood vessels, making them thick and inelastic and much more prone to having problems related to hypertension, which is high blood pressure and heart disease. So it's not just about not having good energy, you're also causing potential damage to your body overall. So that's why it's important. Let's see. Let's talk about signs and symptoms of blood sugar imbalance. And just take a look at that list. And I want you all either to yourself or you can put in the chat how many of these symptoms you experience. Do you crave sweets? Are you binge or uncontrolled eating? Do you have excessive appetite? Maybe you crave coffee or sugar in the afternoon because you get that slump. You're sleepy in the afternoon. Maybe fatigue is only relieved by eating. Maybe you even have fatigue after meals because remember that sugar is not getting into the cells. Maybe you're headachy or shaky if meals are skipped or delayed. And maybe some of you, we talked about weight loss earlier. Maybe you have difficulty losing weight despite exercising regularly. Maybe you're a slow start in the morning. Or you have frequent urination, poor memory or forgetful, blurred vision. Maybe you depend on coffee to get yourself going or get started. Maybe you have increased thirst, or maybe just agitated, easily upset and nervous. There's a couple more, but I think these will cover the majority of people if you're experiencing any symptoms and signs of sugar imbalance. So there's serious consequences of insulin resistance. It's not just that you have energy issues, low energy. You could also have thyroid and growth hormone deficiency. You could have an increased risk of cancer, high blood pressure, injury to the blood vessel linings, systemic inflammation, risk of Alzheimer's, low energy in all organs and glands, and diabetes. So let's talk a little bit about them one by one. So with thyroid deficiency, excess insulin causes a deficiency of a thyroid hormone, and the thyroid affects your metabolism, which is going to affect so many things in the body, including your own, your body temperature, your weight. Growth hormone deficiency. So growth hormone is a fat burning hormone. So if you're having difficulty releasing weight, it's because you can't get rid of those extra calories consumed. And that's what the growth hormone does. Cancer risk. Excess insulin causes inflammation. An increase in inflammation or inflammatory chemicals can lead to cancer. High blood pressure. Insulin causes high blood pressure because it thickens the blood vessels. And then systemic inflammation. It can cause inflammation throughout the entire body. And risk of Alzheimer's. Researchers are finding that Alzheimer's is actually insulin resistance in the brain. So Alzheimer's or dementia generally happens later in life, but researchers are finding that it's happening early in life. They're calling it type 3 diabetes. And then finally, you can just have low energy in your organs and your glands. So it's not just your body and muscles that experience low energy. Your organs and glands are also sluggish and functioning less than optimally. And diabetes, if you all don't know this by now, it's a serious consequence of insulin resistance. You may or may not get diabetes, but if you have insulin resistance, even early stages of it, you're still going to have a danger of all the things on the list, even if you haven't been diagnosed yet. So it's important to make sure that you balance your blood sugar, not just for energy. Here are the causes of insulin resistance: genetics, nutrition imbalances, stress, lack of exercise, and poor sleep. So let's talk a little bit about each of these. So genes, we all have genetic predispositions of how we're going to recycle early if we don't take care of ourselves. And the genes that predispose people to blood sugar imbalance and the genes that affect a good percentage of the population can determine how you're able to regulate blood sugar. Now, you can have the genes for diabetes or any other chronic illness, but you, through lifestyle and nutrition choices, can turn that switch on or off. So just because you have a genetic predisposition doesn't mean that you're going to actually have issues with blood sugar. It just means that you have to make sure that you monitor your lifestyle and your nutrition. So nutrition imbalances. Yeah, that food-like substances we talked about earlier, that's not real food. And the slides are acting funky again. Let's see if I get them to go backwards. There we go. It's going forward. There we go. So again, let's talk about nutrition imbalances. it's not only the overall quality of your diet, but you may also be lacking certain key nutrients that we're going to discuss a little bit later on. Many people think they're eating a healthy diet. I've had my clients come to me and say, I'm eating really healthy. I'm eating gluten-free pasta and bread and all that. And that's important, but you may be consuming a lot of that. You may be consuming dried fruits and fruit juices. They're in fact eating things that are creating problems in their system that are needing a need for more insulin. So, and the nutrients just can't keep up with it. So it's not just eating healthy, it's really making sure that you're, I do not know why my computer's doing this. Thank you for your patience. There we go. And let's talk about stress. So this is a major cause of insulin resistance that I find in most of my clients. So when you're stressed, you release a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol causes your blood sugar to go up. That's its job because you have to run because you're being chased by a tiger. Doesn't know that your boss just yelled at you or your kids just did something to annoy you. So even if you didn't eat anything with sugar, your body's going to break down healthy muscle to promote running. And so you've got to control your stress. It's not just what you're eating, it's what's eating you. So if you're stressed all the time, you're going to create insulin resistance. Okay. And then the lack of exercise. Now, these are also overall health and wellness issues as well, but the lack of exercise, trained healthy muscle tissues can pick up the insulin much better. So the more you exercise, the better it'll be. And then poor sleep. Even one night of poor sleep can cause your insulin resistance in an otherwise healthy person. So if this happens once in a while and you have a normally good sleep pattern, you're good. The problem will go away once you resume a good sleep cycle. However, consistent poor sleep will impact your health. So now we know all the things that can happen, and I hope that it's inspiring you and not scaring you. So let's get to the good part, like what can we do about it? Let's talk about the nutrients that balance blood sugar. There are many, but these are the top that I see that my clients have deficiencies in when they're having issues with balancing the blood sugar. Vitamin D3, chromium, omega-3 fats, and magnesium. If you have attended these webinars over the last several years, you've noticed that vitamin D always shows up as a nutrient that has to be at a certain level to be healthy. And that's because vitamin D has a receptor on every cell in your body, basically for vitamin D. So it's responsible for everything from eye health to brain health to immune health. So if you're lacking vitamin D, you can find yourself functioning less than optimally in a lot of systems in your body. Vitamin D is very important to control blood sugar. The ideal range is about 75 to 100. So if you haven't had a vitamin D test, I encourage you to get one and find out what your starting point is, what your baseline is, and get up to the therapeutic level. Chromium improves carbohydrate cravings and your ability to space meals more favorably. Now you can get chromium in certain foods, but many people find that if they are really having problems with blood sugar dysregulation, that they can supplement with that. And omega-3 fats play an important role in improving insulin resistance and protecting your brain. And then magnesium is important for the transport of insulin into cell membranes. Magnesium provides a lot of nutrition support for many of the areas of your body. So if people aren't, if they're magnesium deficient, it's because a lot of us just aren't ingesting enough, or we're not able to convert it the way it needs to be converted. Vitamin D, again, may require supplementation, but chia seeds contain high amounts of chromium, omega fatty acids, and magnesium, and leafy greens are loaded with magnesium. So there's no reason not to have these nutrients in your body from plant sources. Let's talk about the foods that fog your mind and fatigue your body, or food-like substances. So for many people, in order for them to repair the damage that's done from the insulin resistance, it takes about 30 days to reset your insulin sensitivity and restore balance. Top 3 things you need to do. You gotta get rid of sugar and all its relatives and first cousins, and that means maple syrup and agave and honey and rice syrup and all sweeteners, including artificial ones that can still trigger insulin, even though they don't elevate sugar. All flour products and all gluten, pasta, breads, crackers, etc., even the whole grain kind, and then processed hydrogenated oils and heated fats like margarine, mayonnaise, cooking with polyunsaturated oils, which are most oils. If you absolutely must cook with oil, You can use olive oil or coconut oil at low temperatures, but ideally it's better to go without any oil at all. So I know that many of you out there are saying, well, what am I going to do for sweetener? Well, Karen and I can talk to you a little bit about that on the other side, but the best sources for sweetening your food is other whole food. You know, like some veggies are sweeter than others, some low sugar fruits. But of course, if you need more sweetening, there are sugar substitutes. And these are in order, according to my mentor, Dr. Rita Marie Loscalzo. She recommends recommends it in this order in moderation. First, stevia. It's a green plant, so fresh is best. And then you can do the green powder, and then you can do the sweet leaf concentrate. Next would be lohan or monk fruit. It's a Chinese herb. Then erythritol, which is a sugar alcohol, and then chicory root and yacon, which is a tuber. And you still have to test to see if that really is going to raise your blood sugar or not. But those are the substitutes. And let's talk about the top 3 plant foods highly recommended for at least a 30-day period to reset your insulin sensitivity and restore balance. These are foods and herbs that focus your mind and fight fatigue. Leafy greens. You've been with us before, you know the drill. All leafy greens, spinach, kale, dark green lettuce, red lettuce, collard greens, parsley, beet tops, etc. They all provide the minerals, the chlorophyll, and the antioxidants to protect and restore balance. So you want to eat a variety. And then avocado resets your insulin sensitivity. Chia seeds is a filling source of omega-3 fats, protein, and important minerals. We talked about that earlier. And then as a bonus, herbs and spices, cinnamon, cardamom, coriander, and ginger. So there's no reason for you not to have this in your diet. Let's talk about some eating tips and tricks and hacks to balance insulin. So we all know that it's not just what you eat, it's how you eat, what you digest, and how the cells pick it up. And so here are some tips and tricks to help you balance your sugar and eat in a way that promotes that. All right, so you want to never eat after dinner. Many people have to when they have insulin resistance because they're still hungry. You want to eat only 3 meals a day. You want to allow 4 to 6 hours between your meals. Eat to full, but don't overeat or undereat. Eat slowly and calmly. Practice breathing and appreciation before each meal, and eat a breakfast containing a protein. If anyone has any questions about why that's important, we can speak in greater detail about that on the other side, but I want to make sure that we give Karen enough time to do her presentation and that you can benefit from her discussion. Move on. Okay. So now we get to the part of the program where Karen's going to pop in. So food is medicine, nutrition, food demo with recipes. This is what you're going to get for showing up because you stayed almost to the end. And we're going to put that in a resources document. You're going to get 5 recipes to kick your sugar addiction. That's free again, just for showing up. We have our BVS, Black Veg Society YouTube channel, absolutely free. I've been doing these food as medicine webinars since 2020. There's a plethora of subjects and topics you might want to go and look at to help you support your health, everything from digestion to adrenals, to thyroid health. And then the Vegan Journal, again, it's a free 12-month subscription with the completion of the survey, and it's got to be submitted by 5 p.m. tomorrow in order for you to get that free 12-month subscription. It is hard copy, so you have to submit your name. And then finally, anybody curious about going vegan, even for 28 days, there's a guide that was created by myself and Dr. Ruby Lathan of What the Health. It has 70 recipes, suggested menu plans, shopping list, plant-based protein guide, 40 snacks on the go, and so much more. So you can just, in the resources guide, you can click on the link, and if that appeals to you, go ahead and purchase that. And then finally, everyone who registered is going to be eligible to participate in a raffle drawing to win and receive immediate download to a healthy vegetarian recipe starter guide with breakfast, lunch, and juice recipes. It doesn't matter if they're here or not. If you registered, we have an electronic, and I always share that with the community that picks the name automatically. It's a random picker. So I don't pick it, the system does. The winner will be notified within 7 days via email. And I want you to save the date for the next Food is Medicine webinar, Key Nutrients to Age Well. That's a topic that we decided on, I don't know, maybe about a year ago, based on feedback that we got from people in the survey. So if there's a topic that you want us to discuss, the survey also provides an opportunity for you to do that. And so with that, we're going to go into answering the questions and then get started with Karen's presentation. So for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to talk about her again. Karen is a gourmet chef and instructor and a registered yoga instructor. She specializes in helping individuals. Karen, I don't think I read that correctly. There it is. I'm going to read it the way it's written. She specializes in considering individual health conditions and taking the best from many different theories to determine what will deliciously, I love that, what will deliciously bring vibrant health to the individual. And some of the modalities she studied include raw, vegan, Ayurvedic, macrobiotic, low fat, high carb, low glycemic, and her favorite whole food, plant-based, no oil. Karen also teaches gentle yoga classes that are safe for bones and joints and stimulates bone formation. So if you didn't know before, you're in great hands with a person who is trained up to the yin yang and has practiced this for many, many years. Have any questions? I'm going to stop the share. If you have questions, now's the time. And then while she's answering those questions, I'm going to put your freebies in the link in the chat. Okay. Y'all are shy today. So what was your greatest takeaway? I know I kind of sped through that. What was did you hear anything that was like an aha for you that you didn't know? You guys are shy. Let me see. I don't see anything in the chat.
I have a question, Tony.
Oh, go ahead. Is that Mary?
Yes, thank you so much.
Sure.
The idea of not onboarding oils anymore is really new to me, and makes a lot of sense. There's so much push around coconut oil and olive oil and all of that. If you could just kind of touch off on that, again, like in the last few months, I've just started seeing cookbooks and things, and it kind of boggles my mind. It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on that? It's a very different way of thinking about eating for me.
Wow, that's a really great question. I'm sure everybody else was curious about that too. Unfortunately, we have Karen, who's a no oil specialist. She can tell you about that. Karen?
Yeah. Okay. So in addition to what Tony was talking about, it also, so it's wasted calories. It's like what, 120 calories or something in a teaspoon or tablespoon. I forget, but it's a lot of wasted calories. And it also like gunks up your cells and doesn't let the insulin unlock the cells to get the sugar into your cells, out of your bloodstream. So one of the things, and I'll just show you really quick what I did already. I don't cook with oil. And one of the recipes that I'm using, I don't know if you can see my skillet here, but one of the recipes I'm using called for an onion, and I just sliced it thin, and then I water sauteed it, so I don't need oil to make it not stick. So what I did was heat up the skillet first, and then just kind of sprinkle some water on it, and when that water balls up and just like beads around and disperses, it's hot enough. And then I put the onions in, and then just kept it moving, and nothing stuck. And then if it does start to stick, you can put a little bit of water, like a tablespoon or two at a time, and that'll pull anything stuck to the bottom off of the pan. And then I put mushrooms in here, and then the water cooks out of the mushrooms, so that helps. And then I just put a little bit of salt and a little bit of garlic, and just let it cook down. So I didn't want to do that on here because I didn't want to use the time of you guys watching this cook.
Thanks for that. It makes total sense. Because oftentimes I would feel like I'm frying all my vegetables before I eat
Right.
them. You know, when you cook them that way, it's like garlic and onion fried. Intuitively, it makes perfect sense. Thank you.
And you get used to it when you're not, when you haven't used it. Probably takes like 21 days to make a habit, but you get so used to feeling so good by not having, like, the oil just kind of sticks on me, sticks. I just feel like heavy or something when I eat stuff with oil. And then you get just really used to actually experiencing the flavor of the food instead of
Yeah.
grease.
Did you all get the link? So I put it in several ways. Oh, Karen, you can pin yourself. Someone asked if we could pin you.
Oh, let's see. I don't have, let me see, hold on.
I can remove my spotlight.
Oh, it's okay. I got it.
Got it? All
There
right.
we go. Do you want me to remove yours or you want to be both up right now?
Now you're the star.
Like
There
that.
we go. Yeah,
Okay.
perfect.
Okay.
So before Karen gets started, sometimes we have issues with people not being able to download. So I gave it to you in two forms. So let me know if you were able to pick it up. I gave it as a Google Doc, and then I also had a PDF with all the resources, which includes these recipes, the survey, the 5 recipes for kicking sugar addiction, and so much other stuff. So if you're having problems, let me know. And with that, we're gonna let Karen surprise us with her delicious and nutritious recipes.
Okay, the first one's not really a recipe. It's just like, so y'all are getting the recipes if you haven't already gotten them. But this one, all of these are gonna support your blood sugar. Also, they're gonna support your adrenal thyroid, like Tony was talking about. So like your, well, first, I just want to get started with the one, so it'll be done by the end of this, the presentation. So if you have an Instant Pot, this is so easy. It doesn't require a recipe. It's a great breakfast, lunch, or dinner. The one thing I want to say is, like, breakfast does not have to be sweet. So this one, you're going to get protein. I'm just going to put, but I have some red lentils, and I'm just going to put lentils and water in the Instant Pot. And then I have a few shiitake mushrooms, which are, and I'll just lower this, a good source of B5 and B6, which is like your thyroid and your adrenals need that. A lot of processes in your body need that. And I'm just going to slice them really quick.
I posted, even though it's in the resources document, I also posted her recipe separately. It's a PDF if you want to click on that and follow along.
But this one's not in the
Oh, that one isn't. Okay.
This one's just like a bonus. So onions, I just have this one. You can use any kind of onion. Don't have to use onion if you don't like it. And I'm just gonna like dice it really quick and throw it in.
So Karen, what do you find most challenging for people that are trying to lower their or manage their blood sugar? What's the most difficult thing for them to do that you've noticed as far as preparing foods or eating food?
I think they eat too often. Like you were saying, eat at least 3, I think 4 or 5 hours in between whatever you put in your body, because like if you're, no matter what you eat, if it's not sugar, it's still going to raise your blood sugar, and it's supposed to. But if you keep eating all day long and you never let your digestion do its thing, it takes about 4 hours for it to actually do everything it needs to do to whatever you just ate.
Right.
But then you're going to start at a higher, your blood sugar is going to be at a higher level when you start. Next thing you eat is going to raise it even more. So if people could just like eat enough whole food, nutrient dense foods, then they're not going to be hungry for 4 or 5 hours.
Now, the only exception to that would be people who are, insulin resistant. And they have to make their body adjust, right, to eating. So what would you suggest for those people who are genuinely hungry?
Should eat lots of greens.
Yes.
To have a snack. Actually, I'm going to make it a snack. It's going to be like, it could be a dessert. It could be a snack if you have to snack. It could be a breakfast. You could have cake for breakfast. But these are just, you can, for this recipe, this is not really a recipe, but you can use any green you have. Kale is good. I have Swiss chard because I just harvested it off in my backyard.
Yeah.
And the stems, go ahead and chop them up and add them because they have a lot of minerals.
So Isabel, you left a message directly from me. I don't know if you meant to leave it for everyone, but I'd like to read it since it's not personal. She said that the most difficult is to break bad eating habits.
Yeah,
That's because eating becomes everything other than for nourishment, for emotional support, for celebration,
So like if you feel like you need to eat something and it's not really time to eat something, pick an extra something healthy, like a little bit of exercise or something to go and do. Like every time I feel like I'm going to eat, I'm going to do 10 jumping jacks or whatever, just whatever's your thing. So I just threw these in here and I'm going to put it in the Instant Pot and pressure cook it for 4 minutes.
Nice. Well, my tip for myself is if I know I'm not really hungry, it's been less than 3 hours and I'm craving something, I just take a breath, I breathe for 2 or 3 breaths and I ask myself, what do you really need right now? And sometimes I just need to talk to somebody. I'm craving comfort from a friend. So just taking that moment, like Karen said, like I do, just to ask your body what it really needs. You can often make a different choice. I really like your suggestion, Karen, about moving your body as something to do before you eat. Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be a whole lot either. It's a little something. All right, so I've soaked, we're gonna make, you do have the recipe for this, on to the next recipe, and it's a sunflower seed cheese. So I soaked some sunflower seeds overnight. You can soak them 4 hours or just put them in overnight and they're ready in the morning. And I'm making half of the recipe because it's just me. I don't want to eat it all.
So Lisa says, hey, what are you making? She's late to the party.
Oh, this one is a sunflower seed cheese. So it's like Tony was talking about adrenal and thyroid. This is all adrenal and thyroid supportive. Like your tyrosine is an amino acid that like your body makes adrenal and thyroid hormones from, and it also uses to convert the T4 to T3 from the inactive form to the active form. So it is not an essential amino acid. So like your body actually can make it, so you don't have to get it, but you need phenylalanine to make it. So that's another amino acid. And sunflower seeds are a source of phenylalanine. So this is just a real easy cheese substitute. Like dairy can raise your insulin, even if it doesn't raise your blood sugar. So I'm gonna kind of stay away from dairy. So I've got sunflower seeds in here. I'm gonna put a little bit of water and a little bit of lemon juice. Add some vitamin C. And then I have umi plum vinegar, and I can't remember if we've used it on here before, but it's the brine that's left over after they brine the plums. It's alkalizing. I'm gonna have a nice alkalizing diet. I'm
gonna put that in the chat for everyone, but that's in your recipes, right? So
It
we have
is.
to have that.
I'll hold it up just a sec. So it's like from Eden Foods.
Okay, great. Thank you, Karen.
Mhm.
Let's
It's
see.
salty. It's more salty than sour. So I've got the lemon juice for that little tang that cheese normally has, and then this just makes it good.
So I have a
Um,
comment here. Lisa said she had no idea dairy can raise insulin. Thank you so much. Thank you, such incredible information. Will recipes be emailed or should we listen closely? So if you go up a couple of, I will post it again. I have a resources document that has one-stop shopping. You can catch all the documents, including her recipe on that resources document. And then the other question is it okay to drink tea instead of eating between meals?
Absolutely.
Highly encourage it.
Yeah, there's a lot of different herbal teas that are actually good for you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna blend this up. I don't know if you guys can see the blender, but I'm gonna mute myself while I blend just so I come back for sure.
All right, and I will post the links again to the resources document that has all of the freebies that we talked about, including Karen's wonderful recipes. And see if I can pull it up. Does anybody have any other questions? Anybody out there, chefs, either professional or recreational, that like to make food? Recreational, okay, Aditi says recreational. Good, I hope that you find some, if Karen is a genius with taking really simple, but she takes recipes, maybe 5 or less, but the ingredients are just so unusual in their effect on the food, like the umi vinegar. I mean, who would have thought about that? So I hope that you learned something from her. Let's see, I know some debate whether tea dehydrates, and that's why I asked. Caffeinated tea can dehydrate. That's absolutely right. But I don't think you have the same effect with herbal teas. I could be wrong. Caffeine definitely dehydrates. That clears that up. Jackie says she calls herself a chef, but I have to follow recipes. You're still a chef. We won't take your chef title from you. Okay.
Okay, so I blended it until it was smooth, and you can see it's kind of a thick cheese-like substance. It goes through a more liquidy stage, so you want to blend it. The more you blend it, the thicker it gets. And yeah, I was teaching somebody how to make it one time, and they're like, well, maybe I should put less water in it. And I was like, no, just blend it more, and it came out just fine.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's about 1 part water and 2 parts sunflower seeds, however much you're going to mix. But the recipe's on there. All right, so I have my cheese, and this is I'm going to make a sushi sandwich, which can be a breakfast or lunch or snack. Grab a piece of nori.
A sushi sandwich. Yum.
Yeah, so your thyroid needs iodine, and seaweed is a really good source of iodine. Needs iodine to convert from the
Lisa says she's concerned about abdominal fat and she's looking forward to the recipes. I crave carbs, so I'm trying to change this.
cool. Well, also I'd like to not demonize all carbs. Like
Yes,
whole foods or
yes.
yeah, there's vegetables that are carbs, but they're good for you. Okay.
I'm glad you said that, because remember, some of you may be old enough to know this, maybe not, but remember years and years and years and years ago, they demonized fat. And so a lot of women weren't eating the fat that they need for proper hormone function and brain function. It was just awful. And so it really is about moderation and doing what's right for your body, and not, as Karen says, not demonizing any food group, because we need them all.
Yeah. All right. So what I'm going to do is take my dirty knife here and start at the center. So I put the nori sheet shiny side down, and I'm just going to start at the center and make a cut all the way to one edge. Yeah. Not so great. Well, you just want a flat. Okay, so now you have 4 quadrants on the nori sheet. And let's see, I'm gonna put on the upper right quadrant, I'm gonna put some leafy greens. So you could do any kind of greens you want. Spring mix is good. I have arugula. That's a source of omega-3 fatty acids.
I love arugula.
Really good for you. And the omega-3s are good for combating inflammation. Okay, so we're just gonna put that. And then let's see, what did I have on my list? You don't have to use the ingredients that I'm using. You can use whatever you like. But then I'm gonna put some red bell pepper on top of that. And I'm doing it raw because I like that like burst of just the juicy burst of flavor from the red bell peppers. But you could cook them with the onions and the mushrooms. It's just your preference. All right, so then in the upper left quadrant, I'm going to spread some sprouts. I'm going to have some broccoli sprouts.
Yeah.
And you can use any kind of sprouts, really. These are just a powerhouse of nutrition. And I was just going to show you, I don't get anything from any of these companies, but this is an easy way to, 2 different easy ways to sprout. I'll just get this one first, right? This is Hamama. And what they do is you have this tray and you just fill it to the fill line with water. And they send you these little growing medium things with the seeds already in them. I don't know if you can see that. But you just put it in the water and they grow. It's just that easy.
Wow.
So easy. So
Can't ask for easier than that.
and then I'm going to show you another way that's also really easy. But I'm just going to take some sprouts here. And spread them on that upper left quadrant, upper left to me. Okay. But another way to grow sprouts, and then you can just use a mason jar, but and like you soak the seeds overnight, and then you drain them and you rinse and drain them 2 or 3 times a day until they grow. But this little contraption is just a cup, and then it's got another cup with slats in the bottom. So you can put your seeds in there, fill it up, soak it overnight, and then when you lift it out, the water you just pour out. And then it's got little ledges on the top, so you can, and then something to catch, so you can have it not sitting in whatever water drains down beneath.
Wow.
And then you just take this out, put it in the sink, and rinse it and drain it every day. So a couple times a day.
So Aditi asked, can chia or flaxseed be substituted if you don't have sunflower seeds?
It won't make that cheese. Pumpkin seeds work.
Yeah, that sounds right.
You can also use some cashews or macadamia nuts, but
it's a different texture profile. Chia and flax has not in addition to taste. So that's a no.
but they are good for you. We're gonna use them in the next recipe. Let's see. Okay, so then in that there, I'm going to spread the cheese on top of that. So I've got the sprouts. They're going to kind of soak up any moisture, like keep it from making the nori soggy. Just go put a little bit of cheese. And this is going to make it really nice and flavorful.
That looks good.
All right, it'll spread out when I fold it.
But he says, I'll just go splurge in quotes on some sunflower seeds. I am so glad. You will not be sorry. You will not be sorry.
Yeah. And then, so that's like sprout soaking them overnight is like getting rid of the enzyme inhibitors, which are a little bit bitter. So I think they taste a little bit better and they make it more nutritious.
Yes.
All right, so then let's see what have I got.
How much light will the sprouts need to grow?
Not much at all. So those the sprouts in that hamama tray, it's just the light of your room, like the light coming in. They don't have to.
Natural light, no special.
Yeah, they don't have to be
sunlight.
next to the window.
Okay.
Yeah, everything even in that little easy sprout thing, I grow them up here, which is not next to the windows or anything.
So unless you're living in a cave, you can grow sprouts.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's good prep food right here. Great, so then I'm going to put in the lower left quadrant my onion and mushroom mix.
So this is where Karen, even though Karen and I both were trained at Living Light, and she went on to train at other places, I consider myself more of a cook than a chef because she's a very exacting person, and which I love about her. I'm a sloppy cook. I'll just throw it all in there together, roll it up, and hope it all works out fine.
That would work too, and it's the same. This is just a little fun thing that people can do.
I love it. I do.
And then let's see, I'm gonna do a little bit of, I'm gonna put a little bit of sauerkraut. That's good for your digestion, like good probiotic food. A little bit of sauerkraut on top of them. You know, I said you could use this if you like it. Leave whatever you don't like out. Fine.
Yeah, I think fermented food is a wonderful way to get probiotics and the prebiotics in your body. Let's see, Aditi, our resident cook and chef, is saying that batch cooking is her favorite thing to do. Yes, indeedy. Store a lot of different things and throw it together as you wish. My style is like Tony's. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coming to the light side. Yeah, I'm a big fan of making it once, eating it 3 times. Especially with the Instapot, you can make as much as you need to and then store it in the freezer or refrigerator as you want. That's one of the biggest complaints or challenges, I won't say complaints, that people say about preparing food. They don't have time.
Right. And with that Instant Pot, it's like a magic pot.
Yeah, it is.
Just put your food in there and go away, go do whatever you got to do, come back and your dinner's ready.
I'm just saying.
So then I'm just mashing a little bit of avocado. It's a healthy fat, and I'm just mashing it to keep it on there while I fold it. Another thing is a Brazil nut, and 1 Brazil nut a day is like your enough selenium for the day, and your thyroid also needs selenium. So I'm just gonna see, what did I want to? You can put it over anyone. I'm gonna put it over the onions and the mushrooms.
That's a great tip.
You can. I'm just gonna grate it. It's kind of like Parmesan cheese. If you mix it with nutritional yeast, it kind of tastes like Parmesan. Or you can chop it up and just put it on one of these quadrants. Up to you.
Wow.
Or just eat it. You don't even have to put it on here.
Yeah. But think about, and I'm sure Karen will share this with you. At least if you use the microplane, you're gonna make sure it gets pre-digested. So you got to chew nuts and seeds very carefully in order to get their nutritional value. So chew your food. Chew it until it turns to pulp.
All right, so I just folded over the 1 quadrant.
Got a sandwich.
Pick that up and fold it over.
Oh, I love that. That's so clever.
And then pick that up and fold it over.
Okay, you've convinced me. I'm gonna have to do that one because I really like that.
And I have sandwich.
Oh.
All right. So yeah.
Any questions about this sandwich? Jackie says, I've done that with wraps, the quadrant effect. That's wonderful. Yeah,
it's fun.
It is fun. It really is about playing with your food. I really say that, play with your food. So Karen, before you get started with recipe number 2, can you let everyone else know how else they can follow you? You're also a licensed chef with the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine, right?
Right. I teach classes that were designed by Dr. Neil Barnard. It's a lot. It's totally, we have classes on eating for diabetes, like to reverse to prevent and reverse diabetes, to prevent cancer or its recurrence, all kinds of classes, blood pressure, heart disease, everything you can think of. And every Sunday in October, I'm doing a free class. It's a series of 5 classes on Let's Beat Breast Cancer, because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And so those classes are, you get a food demo, you get the science behind it all, why we're doing what we're doing from Neil Barnard, and Q&A, and a nice community. Already got a lot of people signed up, but I like, you know, anybody's welcome. It's free. And you can find me on myfoodfitnessandfun.com. And that's where you can register for the classes too. I'm also teaching some classes of my own and teaching yoga for bone health. So anybody's welcome to any of that. Yeah.
Just want to make sure the people got all that information. Good.
Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and make the second one, or the third one, whatever. The cheese was one, actually. Okay, so this one, I just have a food processor fitted with the S blade, and can't put it into view. But, all right, what I'm going to do is just dump everything into the food processor and turn it on. It's that easy, okay? And first, we're just going to do the dry ingredients. I have some flax seeds. It's a great source of omega-3 fatty acids, but you can also use chia seeds. Substitute 1 for 1 in this recipe. So I'm just putting them in a little, you could do it in a coffee grinder. This is a little Tri-Best blender. You could do the Magic Bullet, just a little something. And I'm going to grind the flax seeds. And the flax acts as a binder. So what we're going to do is just put all the dry ingredients in here. They're going to get mixed with the flax. We're going to put a little bit of wet ingredients in. And when it gets wet, flax and chia get gelatinous. And they're going to hold everything together and make it cakey. So my dry ingredients are the flax seeds. I have cinnamon, good for your blood sugar. Carob powder, it's calcium in it. Ashwagandha, it's like an herb that's supportive of, it's actually an adaptogen, so it's supportive of your adrenal glands. You have some coconut and coconut flour, and this is just shredded, dried, unsweetened coconut. And all these things together make this make it cakey. Have some almonds, a good source of vitamin E, and then some cardamom. Those are the dry. I'm gonna mute myself and blend, grind these flax seeds real quick.
So you have a fan club. Isabel says, Karen is awesome. Yes, I think so. I do. You've just scratched the surface of her awesomeness. Trust me. I always say that she's not only a chef, like she's an alchemist. I mean, she really knows how to make every meal nutritionally balanced and delicious. And that's a hard skill set, not just a hard skill set. I mean, she really cares about the meals that she's putting together. I've had the benefit of staying with her a couple of times, and it's life-changing. That's all I can tell you, the meals that she prepares.
Well, it's good. Like the coconut has, is it myristic acid in it? That actually helps convert the long chain fatty acids in the flax to the short chain fatty acids that your body will need or can use. So I put the flax seeds in there. I'm just going to put the coconut and the coconut flour, the almond, and let's see, the carob powder. The carob's a pod like the cacao bean, but like cacao, you eat the bean, and carob, you eat the pod. And carob is kind of sweet, so that helps us not need to use so much sweetener in here. And the sweetener that I'm going to use is monk fruit. So whatever sweetener, I didn't put a measurement for that because it depends, how much you use depends on what sweetener you're using. So monk fruit is a fruit. It's like 200 times sweeter than sugar. I think that
So a
you
little
just
bit goes a long way.
kind of, yeah. So I just like put a few sprinkles in there. And let's see, I did do, where's my recipe? How much cardamom I put in here. So this is, it's like spice cake balls. You could also press it into a pan or like a little rectangular pan and then cut it when after 15 minutes.
And I think this recipe is new to me because I thought I've seen all of yours, but this one I'm doing. I thought I've seen them all. I think that's gonna be on my schedule for tomorrow. Go ahead.
It's simple. It's like it could be, and I'll show you some that I've already made, but let's see how much. I can't find my recipe. Oh, there it is. Cardamom, I'm putting 1/4 teaspoon. You can put more, you can put however much you like. It's a little bit strong, but like the ginger, I put a lot, but if you don't like ginger too much, don't put so much.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what gives it the spice taste, right? All those.
Yeah, the cardamom and the cinnamon and the ginger. Ginger, it gives you a nice kick after you eat it.
Yeah.
You get that ginger. Oops.
Not so overwhelming that all you taste is ginger. Me no like that.
Right.
I like a little bit of ginger, but not a lot of it.
And then I got 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, and that too also depends on like how old your cinnamon is, because it kind of loses its flavor if you keep it a long time. And also the different brands, or some are stronger than others. So, but this is, the recipe is just a guide. All right, so I did all of the dry ingredients. I'm gonna mute myself and just process it in the food processor until the there's too much stuff up here, I can't lift it up, but I'm gonna process it until the almonds are powdery.
Okay.
I'm gonna mute myself.
So Aditi says those would all be good spices to put in your plant milk. Yes, and heat up. Maybe just be very cautious about how much you heat it up. Let's see. I need something like this with this cold weather that will be here soon. Yes, this is wonderful spices for the upcoming weather. And I thank you for your suggestion about putting it in plant milk and just warming it up a little bit. That sounds very nurturing and yummy, actually. And it's a little chilly here today. For me anyway, anything below 70 degrees is chilly. So I like your suggestion. Every week, every month when Karen and I do this together, we always have somebody that really supports us so much. We feel like we should put you on the payroll. So thank you. Aditi says, no problem. I've done it a few times. Thank you for all your suggestions. Yeah. So what's your favorite spice while you're waiting for Karen? Everybody, if you want to tell us.
So I've ground it pretty much to a powder. It's gonna get ground a little bit more. So then I'm just gonna add the wet ingredients, which is 1/2 cup of blueberries. And that you can use fresh or frozen. Those were frozen and thawed out. And then I have some food grade orange essential oil, which also adds to the spice flavor. Just gonna put a few drops.
Also, Aditi says she likes cinnamon for sweet. Mary likes cinnamon and ginger. Yeah, y'all like heat. Crushed red pepper, habanero salsa is amazing. My throat is closing up already. No, I'm just kidding.
I like flavor.
Yes, garlic. It really is about balancing. Valerie's favorite spices are cardamom, ginger, and cinnamon. They're very warming spices. The spicier the better, Aditi says. Good for clearing things out. Yes, for sure.
Great. Yeah,
Hot spices. Ooh.
That's the thing, like people are converting to plant-based from meat. Well, meat's just a carrier for all those flavors. Well, vegetables can be the same carrier for all those flavors.
Oh, that's so true. That's what most people miss, right? They really miss the flavor profile, not necessarily.
Yeah.
the protein, animal protein itself. We here meet everybody where they are, so we're always plant slanting because that's what we want. But if you're choosing to continue to eat animals, we just ask that you eat organic and humanely treated animals, and do as little as possible to maintain your your health and wellness. So again, plant slanting. We're not shaming or blaming
Yeah.
anybody here.
All right, so then I'm just gonna put the ginger in there. So that's not a lot of liquid that I put in, but it's enough. So I'm gonna mute myself and then just pulse it until it mixes in and then starts to hold together.
So while she's doing that, in the leafy green kingdom or queendom of greens, what's your favorite that you just got to eat all the time that you love? And I'd love to see some answers here. Or you can talk. Favorite veggies. Or if you don't have it yet, what will become your favorite veggie? Okay, kale and spinach. Kale when juicing, and in your smoothies, love kale and spinach. Me too. Kale. So romaine and kale, good. Arugula, yeah. Y'all try some of the other greens like Brussels sprouts and collards. Jackie says, nice. Karen, are you muted?
I'm ready. Yeah,
Okay,
this
good.
it smells so good, you guys. I wish you could smell it.
Oh,
But if you can see, it's made like a dough.
mm,
And what I'm going to do is just take a tablespoon and roll a tablespoonful into a ball. So I had some wet ginger in that spoon. Okay. But that's all I'm going to do is do that for every one of, the whole thing. And they come out like, after they sit about 15 minutes, the flax will absorb more of that liquid and they become cakey. So,
beautiful.
like a cake ball. Let me find my knife. Well, I'll just break it. So it's like a cake ball.
Nice. So
It's-
Karen, if you were to refrigerate that or freeze it, what's the life expectancy on refrigeration and freezing those?
You could probably keep it in the refrigerator a week or so. Freezer probably about 6 months before they start tasting like the freezer. I'm gonna do like an airtight.
In your tight container. Okay.
Yeah.
Jackie says she loves making balls, and I see arugula is great. Valerie says Latasha likes Swiss chard. I really love that. Swiss has a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, which I didn't know until recently. I love making balls. I have to try these. Good. So everyone, you've seen 3 recipes before Karen moves on.
Oh.
What's been your favorite? Okay. Oh, we have another one?
No,
Yay.
no, I need
Okay.
to get out the one that I started with. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. What's been your favorite so far that you're going to try, experiment with? The cheese. All right. Yeah. That's very grounding, satisfying. That's what Jackie says. She's going to try that. Valerie's going to do the sushi wrap, the 4 corners style. Dee Dee says sushi sandwich because I can piece it together with what I have. I love that. It's like must-goes. You can put your must-goes in there.
Yeah.
Denise says the cheese and the wrap, and Aditi says she loves to be creative. I can tell. So Karen and I love to hear back from people. So if you can contact either one of us, if you really love the recipes or you didn't love it, let us know what you didn't love about it. Or if you made changes to it, let us know.
And I'm just going to show it so all that was just the vegetables in there. It was kind of bland, right? So I'm going to put a little bit of that umi vinegar in there.
Yum.
And a little bit of garlic granules if I can find them. Can't find them at the, oh, here they are.
Right in front of you.
Stuff. All right, just a little bit of garlic. And then I'm using some nutritional yeast. All of it's optional, This is just,
Nutrilicious. Where'd you get that? I love that.
oh, I know it's, there's a company, and I mean, if you look up Nutrilicious, it's the company is Gloriously Vegan, but this stuff is unfortified. I like the unfortified because the ones that are fortified taste like vitamins.
Yeah, I agree.
So I get my vitamins elsewhere. But it gives it a cheesy taste, kind of like Parmesan. So I'm just gonna stir in a little bit of that.
I'm gonna put the name of the company in the chat. It's Glorious.
Gloriously Vegan.
Gloriously Vegan. Okay, thank you, dear. Gloriously Vegan.
And like a lot of come in like little 6-ounce packages. This is, I think, a 1-pound bag, and the deal that I got, like if you could do it at Christmas time, or Black Friday or something, you can get, I got probably like 5 years worth.
Wow.
I got 5 bags and they're lasting, actually 1.5 bags has lasted me since last, no, I just opened this bag. So imagine 1.5 bags last a year.
Wow, that's a good deal. Nice.
All
So
right,
let's
so I just
go ahead.
stirred in those seasonings. I'm going, and you can put whatever kind you want, Italian seasoning or something like that, just whatever you like. And then I have this as a breakfast, like porridge. The red lentils get nice and creamy. And you have all your greens,
Good.
onions, mushrooms.
That looks delicious. So I know that most of us are culturally conditioned to eat the big carby breakfast. You know, and that's, again, not demonizing it, but go ahead, Karen, you want to say something?
Oh, no, that's true. But a lot of, I mean, oatmeal is good, but then put a lot of sugary things on your oatmeal.
Right.
That's not so good. But yeah, I mean, you can get used to, actually try it. Like, I love eating a salad for breakfast.
Yeah.
Just a loaded salad, not just greens, but maybe beans on the salad, you know, everything. But it feels so good.
Is that a recipe that you already talked to people about? Did you want to share in a blog, or how do you want to?
Oh, this?
Mhm.
I can post, I can put it on my website.
Thank you.
Sure.
Oh, boy, for those of us that were paying attention but not really, that would be great. That looks delicious, actually. It's very warming, particularly with these upcoming cooler months.
Yeah,
You can have that really delicious food. Thank you, Karen. You all
sure.
have any questions? Let's see. Valerie says nice and tasty looking. I agree.
Cool.
So for those of you who came at the very beginning and said that there were some things you wanted to make sure were covered, did you get everything you wanted answered? Like about weight release, I think someone asked about, you know, how to eat for weight release daily. Did you find this information helpful?
I could add one more thing about that.
Sure.
Like if you stop, and Tony mentioned this in the presentation, but if you stop eating 3 or 4 hours before you go to bed, preferably 4, you just wake up with a flatter belly.
I agree.
You don't snack before you go to bed. Don't snack after dinner.
You don't believe us, try. I always tell people, prove me wrong.
Right.
Prove me wrong. Denise said she'd like another option for breakfast. I'm sure if you go to Karen's site, because I mean, she's recipes are her, you'll get access to some of her recipes. She has produced so many recipe cookbooks too. So go on her site and just run amok.
Yeah.
All right. We're probably beyond just a little bit. Karen, we ended on time. Can you believe that? Wow. Oh, that's because my part was short and I wanted to make sure that everybody got, I wanted to remind you all that these webinars are sponsored generously by our sponsors. Black Veg Society sponsors me, and we get sponsors that sponsor Black Veg. We need to know how this is working. So if you could be so kind as to fill out the survey and let us know what you loved, what you didn't love, because we're always wanting to be better, do better, so we can attract more people. And also any webinar suggestions that you may have. We aim to please. You know, except we might not do a whole webinar about, you know, barbecuing animals, but anything short of that, plant slant, we're all about. Okay. Karen, any final words you want to say to the people?
I think, you know, just have fun, just experiment. And these are just guides like this. You could just use the red lentils and the mushrooms as a guide. I mean, just the thing, and then put whatever greens you want and whatever vegetables you want in there. Just
Think
spice.
rainbow, right?
Yeah, there you go. Eat the rainbow.
The rainbow.
You don't have to know what's in each color, but it gives you a little bit of everything you need.
Don't forget to join us next month. Karen, if she's so inclined, will join us for eating for aging well. And we'll probably collaborate on putting the presentation together because she's way more gifted in that area than I am. So remember to join us October 29th, same time, 2 to 3:15. You can follow me on Eventbrite. If you've already, Karen says, if you've already gone to one of our events, it will invite you to follow. So please do follow.
I think you have to ask it to do that. Like if you want to be notified of future events.
Yes, please do that. Because we got one more after that in November, and then we'll be planning for the following year, but we want suggestions from you. And with that, unless there are any final comments from the audience, they said, thank you. Valerie said, thank you for such a great warm time. Denise says, thank you for this program today. Jackie says, thank you so very much. Didi and all of you who are chefs out there, thank you for sharing all your chefs' ideas. Let's see, Mary says, darn, my son is getting married on October 29th. Can I get a recording? Yeah, I think the wedding's probably a little bit more important, but we'll have a recording for you.
I have to say, yes, it is, but I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, ladies.
Oh,
Well,
you're so
thank you guys for
welcome.
being here.
Yes, and we like to have fun, so I'm glad that you were having fun with us. We'll see you next month. A blog will be coming out on Black Veg with the recording to this, or you can just go to Black Veg Society. If you were so inspired by what you saw and you want to see it again or share it with your friends, I'll probably have it posted on Monday. And if you have any questions for me or Karen, there are many avenues to reach us. If you have a question for her and you can't reach her, I'll give that message to her. And with that, I'm going to sign off and wish you all a wonderful, happy, glorious weekend. All right. Bye-bye.